Now we come to the highlight of the whole weekend, I believe, because we are about to honor one of our own whose life stands as a shining beacon to what can be accomplished. Marshall Bouldin III received a scholarship to study at the Art Institute of Chicago upon high school graduation. And while he only spent a year and a half in the program, Marshall credits this time with his awakening as an artist. And during World War II, Bouldin worked in a Nashville aircraft factory drawing blueprints for parts. And I think that's significant to point out on this Memorial Day weekend. Following the war, he had the opportunity to meet Norman Rockwell. I was inspired to become an apprentice for other well-known magazine illustrators. So he went on to produce covers and illustrations for magazines such as Outdoor Life, American Magazine, and Collier's, which probably many of you do not remember. Those of us who are much older do remember those magazines. Bouldin returned to his family farm in Mississippi in 1950, where he eventually discovered his love of portraiture. In 1958, he sold his first commissioned portrait, and he had 6 more that fall, all for the grand total of $100 each. You still sell them for that, Marshall? I suspect not. Bouldin went on to rise to national attention in 1968 when he was commissioned to paint Julia and Tricia Nixon. Marshall describes his style as let's get this right, Sarge Wellrent, learning from Sargent, Rockwell, and Rembrandt to create actuality, as he describes it, rather than realism. He says his paintings are composed of color, drawing, value, composition, and sentiment. This emotional reaction is drawn from impressions of the sitter's personality and marks the distinction between a traditional artistic interpretation versus simply a photograph. While Marshall claims he does not possess artistic talent or genius, it might be Arctic talent, no, he doesn't have that either. He says his saving grace was found in discipline and hard work. Early in his career, he decided that if he could master the art of painting, drawing, and anatomy, that he would be prepared then to totally infuse expression into his work. Marshall Bouldin III plans to retire in 2024 at the age of 101. So let's invite Jason Bouldin, his son, to come up and say a few words for Marshall.
As you all can well imagine, this is a singular honor, and what a singular honor for my father, but it's also, because our family is rather close, it's such an honor for our family. And I want to thank the Portrait Society for this. Many of you may know my dad, or at least images of him, because he's always dressed so dapperly. He's got a wonderful white beard. He's got the only eyebrows in the audience that can actually challenge Ray Kinsler's. And he appears every bit the gentleman. Christine and Ed asked me to come up here tonight to offer some of my perspectives about that image of him. And I want to say to you emphatically that he is what you see. He's that in spades. And Ed just alluded to something that I think if we said what are the great characteristics of a truly great artist, most people would start off with talent. My dad would say, no. It's discipline. It's hard work. And I think that points to something a little bit more important than talent in being a great artist, and that is being a fine individual and a good person. I have been privileged to know my father as an artist, as a mentor and teacher, as a colleague, as a father, and as a friend. And I can tell you on all these accounts, he is absolutely first rate. It's a wonderful thing that the gold medal is given to honor a recipient not only for his talent or his body of work, but for the person himself. For that's what animates all that we do as artists. It animates everything that gets put down on canvas or gets carved into stone. So, Dad, I'm here as a fellow member of the Portrait Society, and not as your son, to tell you that we admire you, we respect you, and we thank you.
I love you. I love you. Marshall. Let's see if I can get this down a little closer to me. I want you to know, Marshall, that I'm giving you this award, but Gordon's standing right beside me because he wanted you to have this as much as anybody. Presented by the Portrait Society of America to Marshall Bouldin III, in honorable recognition of his lifelong dedication to expanding the human creative capacity through discipline, his selfless devotion to offering guidance and support to his fellow artists, and to the attainment of excellence as embodied within his venerable collection of work, which has served to foster and enhance traditional fine art portraiture and figurative works, presented May 26, 2012, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Wow. Wow. What can I say? What am I supposed to say? I love you all. Isn't it great to be an artist? And you know, I noticed that a lot of artists, a lot of young starting off artists, come to get some advice from me. And I've found out that in our conversation, sometimes in the conversation, I mean in every conversation, it will come out, they will say the same thing. And they will say, when I get good, I'm going to, and I said, whoa, right there. I said, who draws the good line? I said, you've got the line up and down, you've got the good line, and the bottom. And there's a great deal of difference between your mother's line and the director of the New York Museum of Art. And where are you? And so always know that if you're an artist, that you will be right behind the good line. And you will never catch it. I'm still trying to get there. and it's just isn't it wonderful that we can do this thing? And I tell you what, let me point out that this is something I thought of myself while I was painting, because I'm so happy when I paint. I'm so happy with the whole thing. And I think I boiled it down to saying that, we try to chase happiness to find out what to make us happy. Well, to me, I started to think that happiness is a byproduct. And it's a byproduct of the progressive realization of a worthwhile goal. And I guess that's why we artists are so happy. I think we are happy. I know I am. But because you never quite get there. But there's this progressive realization of attaining the goal. So I tell my boys and everything, get your goal, and then when you hit that goal, get you another goal. And I sort of can illustrate this in a very simple way, what I think will cause you to remember it. It's just like a little child. A little child can be whining and just unhappy as can be. And Daddy will say, come on, so-and-so, let's go to town and get us an ice cream cone. Well, that's the mood changes in the child because they're going for something, for an ice cream cone. So they're happy all the way. Then when they get the ice cream cone, they enjoy it, and pretty soon the ice cream cone is gone, and there's the wah, wah, wah again. So just remember those two things, that it's wonderful to be an artist and wonderful to look forward to it. And I tell you, this award that they're giving me astounds me. I don't understand it. I don't understand why they're giving it to me. I think they made a mistake. But, gosh, now I forgot. Look. They told you how old I was, and now I tell you what, in about a year, I just hit my 90th birthday. And so if I get a little rattled up here, that's why. But I'll tell you what, it's just great. It's just great to have been here. And I thank the Poetry Society, but most of all, I thank my triune God for it. He's been with me all my life and still is. Here I am standing before you tonight.